Alright guys, my name is Andy Mukolo and I'm going to tell you something I learned about 4 years ago when I started selling my services as a copywriter, right? It's made things very, very easy for me, and if you sell a service either as a writer or you're a graphic designer or you're a web developer or just something in between, this formula here is going to mean a lot to you when it comes to getting clients who pay you really well for your services. But before I explain how this formula works, let me outline a number of things that you need to keep in mind, right, if you intend to sell any skill at all, or if you're already selling a skill online. The first thing is, one of the major mistakes I made that I still see a lot of people making, right, when I started out, is I pursued clients. I would send cold emails, I would go on LinkedIn, send dozens of messages every day with the hope that at least one person would respond. I would introduce myself as a copywriter, this is what I can do for you. None of them responded, yeah, and I didn't understand why until I discovered this very simple formula here today, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, you are not really selling a service. Nobody wakes up on a Monday morning thinking of how to spend money on a service. What they are really spending money on, or what they are thinking of spending money on, is a solution to their problem, right? So let's take the average Nigerian business owner, for example. The number one thing they want is more sales, new customers, as much as possible, or at least every day, yeah? Now, some of these people don't know how to do it, right? And let's say the problem is from their website. Like, people visit their website, but it is not appealing, right? They don't see any reason to buy from this person, even after visiting your website. Now, you have a skill of writing persuasive words that people can read and decide to buy, right? Now, what you are selling to that business owner is not writing. I see a lot of freelance writers making this mistake. You are not selling the services of writing. You are selling the services of more sales, new customers, and more profits. So what you do, the skill that you have, is the vehicle that takes this business owner there. But what you are selling really to them is not a service, because when you tell people you're a writer, they don't see how much you can benefit them financially by just telling them that you're a writer and you can write for them, right? Nobody wants to hear that. So what you can do, and what I started doing back then, is you have to enter the conversation already going on in their heads. They are thinking of, oh, I wish I could just end this week with maybe 20 more sales, or 30 more sales, or 50 more sales. And when you come in, right, and position yourself as somebody who can help them do that, you become much more valuable than all of the other freelancers out there, yeah? So, how does this formula work, and how can you use it to attract a lot of clients to yourself? It's very simple, right? And I'm going to explain it now. So, one thing I started doing when I discovered this formula was I stopped chasing clients. I turned myself into a magnet, right? That was literally pulling my prospective clients in my direction. So the way it worked for me then was, I picked one platform, right? At that time I was getting clients, but I just decided to pick one platform and test out all of this on a real social media platform. So I picked LinkedIn first. It worked for me, and then I now took that same formula that we have here on this board to Twitter. So if you go to Twitter, which is where I'm more active, and you look at some of my content, like my tweets and my threads and all that, you will see that the engagement level is so good that if you are a business owner who needs the services of a copywriter, right, to get more sales, you can read just 2 of my tweets and want to reach out to me, right? So in the last 12 months, 90% of the people I've worked with have come to me through Twitter. So I wake up and I see a DM, or they search through my bio, they go to my website, they see my email, and they contact me, right? All because of one tweet or one thread that they saw on my timeline, right? And you can do the same thing no matter what services you sell, okay? Now, here's how this formula works. This is I.I plus E.C. What does it mean? It's very simple. Intellectually interesting plus emotionally compelling. Now, I know all of this sounds like Greek to you, yeah? But it's not really Greek. It's really simple. And here's why. So instead of sending 100 emails every day, hoping that one person responds. And most times when they respond, they don't even tell you that, okay, how can we work together? They either tell you that they don't need your services right now, or that they will contact you later, which is very heartbreaking. You just want to make money, yeah? So what you do is, instead of sending emails telling people that, oh, I'm a writer, or I'm a graphic designer, or I'm a web developer, why not pick a common problem in your market, right, that a business owner or your prospective client is facing right now? Pick a common problem. And all of this comes down to research, yeah? Pick one problem and address that problem from the standpoint of offering a solution to the problem. So let's say I have a business, right, and I sell real estate, and I've not sold any property in the last 6 months. I have a family to take care of. My children are starving. My wife is complaining, right? The whole thing is just making me frustrated. Now, what do you think? I'm looking for somebody who can write for me, or somebody who can show me how to sell more properties? I think the answer is very obvious. So what you can do is, if I'm that real estate business owner, you don't come to me telling me that you can write for me. What you can do is explain why I'm not getting people who can buy my properties. Now, when you explain that in a very simple term that I can understand, I begin to see you as somebody who can solve my problems. Now, it doesn't matter to me whether you're a writer or a web developer or a graphic designer. At this point, because you've explained that problem in a way that I understand, in a way that resonates with me, and you are now offering a way out of that problem, I immediately want to work with you. Now, when I read your content or I read your email, and I look at all of the other emails that I've gotten, or all of the other DMs that I've gotten from people saying, oh, I'm a writer, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, you are the person I want to work with, because you've addressed the problem and you've offered a solution, which is what most freelancers never do, right? So that's how simple it is. And whatever content you choose to use, whether it's a tweet on Twitter or a post on LinkedIn or Instagram, or even a simple email, remember that it has to be intellectually interesting. What I mean is, it cannot be the same thing every other person has said or has been saying, right? It has to be new, it has to feel different, it has to feel unique to you, right? You have to wrap all of your content around a unique voice that your prospects can resonate with, yeah? The second thing is, it has to be emotionally compelling. Now, they have to read your content and feel moved to do something, right? That's where the emotionally compelling part comes in. So they've read your content, oh, this guy is unique, he's different, he sounds very knowledgeable about what he does. There's no other person that is saying this thing in the way that he has said it. Now, it doesn't have to end there, because if it ends there, they don't reach out to you. And you don't get people coming to you to work with you as maybe your client or something else. And that's where emotionally compelling comes in, right? They read it and they see that this guy knows what he's doing, and they begin to think, okay, now that I know what the problem is, and I know that there's a solution out there, what do I need to do? What's the next step? And obviously, the natural result is that they want to reach out to you, which is the next step. So that's how it works. It's really very simple, right? And no matter what service you sell, whether you're a writer, a graphic designer, or something else, it really doesn't matter. Just look at your market, your prospective clients. What problems are they facing? Pick a problem, at least the most common problem, right? And use this formula to create some kind of content that can resonate with your market. That's how simple it is. If you enjoyed this video and you feel that you've learned something new today that you can apply to your freelance business, feel free to drop a comment below.